Hello everyone, a couple of days ago we had the live letter part 1 for patch 6.2, and in said live letter we got some juicy information about new content that will be coming to Final Fantasy XIV. Island Sanctuary, new relic weapons, and the Criterion dungeons, just to name a few. Now, I'm not going to be talking about any of these today. It will be for a future video, but I do want to talk about Savage. Now, Savage itself is not getting any changes, but there is a new release schedule that they are going to be testing out in patch 6.2, and then they'll look at feedback to see if they will keep doing this going forward or if they're going back to their old ways of doing it as they have been doing all these years. Now, for any new players that haven't been around for many raid releases, I'll quickly talk about how it's always gone up to this point. So, whenever an expansion comes out, we have 2 weeks before the release of normal mode, and then another 2 weeks before the release of Savage. This is to give players time to get through the story of the new expansion, get all of their desired jobs leveled up, farm some gear for them, and also practice them a bit in the normal mode raids as well as the extreme trial, so that they're ready to jump straight into Savage. But for the second and third raid tier, that's not the case. In the 0.2 and 0.4 patches, we get both normal mode and Savage on day 1. Now, there's of course not any problem with this, but it's always felt a bit packed to me personally. Now, I know that I am part of the minority and that we also don't have all of the details about this Savage delay yet, but hear me out. So if they're keeping everything the same as they have been doing all of these years, and the only thing that is changing is the release date of Savage, then that will be a really nice change for both casual and hardcore players. Reason being is that you can do all of the preparations for Savage during that first week. What I mean by that is that you get to go through normal mode and take your time with going through the story without feeling rushed because your static is waiting for you. If you're not raiding on day 1, then this is probably not an issue, but otherwise it might be. You also have the time to craft your own gear now. I was thinking of just buying my gear from the market board this time around, because I didn't want the extra stress of trying to unlock the raid in time, getting my gear crafted, make videos, and then also proc Savage. But if we get this extra week, then I can just take my time with making my own gear, and then that's not going to be an issue either. Another thing is that you can also prog and farm the new extreme trial a little bit so that your whole static has a weapon from that, which in most cases is going to be your best in slot weapon for prog because it has 5 extra item levels and it also has +1 weapon damage if I'm not mistaken. And sometimes certain jobs will also get a fairly big rework during these big mid-expansion patches, so it would also give those players that are playing those jobs a week's time to get used to the new rotation. So instead of there being that rush of getting through normal mode, getting crafted gear, you now have a week's time to get that done, and then you also have the opportunity to farm the extreme trial for a stronger weapon. And you also get to experience the other stuff that's in the patch, like the MSQ and such, because those were things that would always be put on the back burner for me as I just wouldn't have the time for those. So having Savage come out 1 week after would just mean that we can get all of the prep work out of the way and then we can get started on Savage immediately when that one comes out and not have to worry about anything else, just like how it is when the first Savage comes out at the beginning of an expansion. Always much prefer those releases, and I'm quite happy that they're planning on at least trying it out for a mid-expansion Savage tier as well. Now, of course, this is all considering that it will go like the way I just explained, because we didn't get any confirmation from what I know at least about the crafted gear, for example, but if the gear is there on day 1 and we can craft it before the Savage raid comes out, then it's going to be really chill to prog Savage, and I would be a very big fan of that. But that's just my 2 cents. What do you think about the delay of Savage? Are you also a fan because you'll have the time to get all the other stuff out of the way first and then have a chill time progging Savage? Or would you rather it be there on day 1 of the patch so you can jump in straight away? Let me know down below. And with that, I want to thank you for watching, I want to thank my Patreons for their support, and I'll see you in the next one.